So I'm glad that I made this series because even though it's just been on 2 episodes, but and you're gonna have to deal with my son being in the background, unfortunately. But this is the only way that I can think of addressing it, because I can't talk to him directly through his stream or anything like that. Plus, Zoe is just currently streaming, talking about his depression and everything and how it runs in his family and whatnot. And I understand it. I've suffered through depression. I've suffered through a lot of things in my life that I'm not happy about. Things that I wish I could go back and change. Things that people have done or said about me that have ruined my mood or ruined my overall ability to feel happy. I'm sorry, he's a kid, so you're going to have to just accept that. He can't be quiet. And I don't want him to be honest. I don't want him to have to not be a child. But anyway, I've suffered through a lot of mental illnesses in my life, to the point where I was always afraid. And I never got help for them. I never sought out. The only therapist I had was through my brother's therapist, and he was only doing it out of the kindness of his heart. Whenever he was here, he would just talk to me a little bit. I had one therapist for my anger, but I stopped going because, like most things, I just can't deal with commitment. I can't deal with... I haven't had a lot of commitment in my life. I haven't had a lot of people stay, and I haven't had a lot of connection with people in general. Oh. Alright, gotta focus. There we go. I haven't had a lot of connection with people in general. Anyway, Zoe was just talking about how this depression of his has just been eating him up. You know, the fact that he doesn't feel like a human being. And fame can do that to you. I'm not even famous, not like Zoe. But I've just now gotten 40,000 followers on TikTok. And it's the most amount of fame I've had. And it doesn't even feel real. But for someone like Zoe, who gets comments about his gender, about his overall, it just dehumanizing stuff every single second. People calling him a trap and things like that, which I don't prefer. I don't like the term, to be honest, simply because it's just rhetoric that furthers to the dehumanizing of everybody or whatever. It's fine when people who, whatever, you know what I mean? Like, it's hard to say. Oh, how far am I going down? Oh, all the way. Oh, that's okay. Oh, all the way? That's okay. Anyway, people have been dehumanizing him. You want to get up?
Yeah.
Do you have to get up?
Yeah.
Is it necessary? Like, absolutely?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll let you get up then. Can't say no to him.
Oh!
You just want to watch me play?
Yeah.
Alright. Sorry, guys. This is going to be dedicated for Zoe, even though Zoe's your homie, by the way, is who I'm talking about. Yeah, he's jumping. Even though I'm not going to link him nor say it or anything like that. Yeah. Mainly because my kid is just going to be here very loud. And I don't feel like making that
Good.
the video they have to watch. So instead, I'm just going to branch it off into a much more important vid, which is that depression is a monster.
A monster?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Is he falling?
Yeah, he's fallen. Yeah.
Is he go up or?
I'm trying to get him up there. It's hard, but
It's so hard?
yeah. Mainly because...
Oh, man. No, you not miss it.
I missed it, but that's okay. Failure happens. Failure's a constant in our lives, man. You can't be let down by it. I mean, you can. That's the thing about depression is that... I'm trying to go upper. Depression is something that you can't avoid.
Go.
Dude, do not grab my face, okay? Alright, I hear you. I'm talking to you this entire time, okay? I can't play the game if you're going to grab my face. You want to see me play, right?
Grab a rock.
I'm really just doing this for him, too, because he likes this. He likes watching me play. For my son.
Grab a rock.
That's what I'm trying to do, my bud. Patience,
Oh,
my son.
Is he dropping?
Yeah.
Is he sapper?
You gotta sigh like that every time.
That's super fall.
Yeah, it is. It is, bud.
Do one.
Do one what?
Do one in the rock.
Okay, look. Here's me doing one in the rock. There, you see?
Yeah.
Here, look. Boom, 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 boom. I'm doing one in the rock, okay?
Okay.
He thinks he's helping, and that's just adorable.
You did go up.
I did go up, yes.
Oh, is he falling?
No, he's not. Avery, you got to be able to accept when things. You gotta take your time. This is a terrible video for talking about this, but it's just been on my mind. I also don't want to tag this person, tag Zoe as your homie, simply because I don't want to just feel like this is Jimmy and Jason. Okay, Avery. Shh. All right. I love you, but you gotta calm down, okay? No. You're okay. You're okay. You can watch from there. You're all right. Sorry, my son has to learn that crying isn't the way. It sounds like it's really real, but it's not. I know when he's really in pain, and he's not. He's just, throwing a tantrum. And I'm trying to have patience with him, but I can't do this video if he's just talking very loudly. Hey, buddy. I love you more than anything in my entire life. Can I get you to please be quiet? Okay? Shh. I need you to quiet down. He just woke up from his nap, too, so. Shh. No talking, okay? Sit there. Sit there. And I need you to be quiet, okay? Go on your iPad and have fun, all right? Don't get up. Sit down. I'll get your blanket and you can be all comfortable, okay? I love you.
That's super squishy.
Yeah. So just sit there and be quiet, okay? No talking. You hear me? All right, be quiet. No, that means be quiet. That means shh. Hey. Shh. Okay. I need you to be quiet, all right? So Daddy can make this video, all right? It's a dumb video, and it's not. Nobody follows me. Nobody watches me. But it's important to me, all right? Yeah. But you're more important to me.
Yeah.
I'm saying, like, even though it's a dumb video for me, you need to take time when you speak, but you can't. That's why you stutter.
You didn't go up.
You need to take time when you talk, okay? Go slow. You gotta have patience. I know you're in a rush to say everything, but you gotta. Yes, buddy.
You didn't go up?
Yeah. I didn't go up.
Oh, that's
okay.
weird.
Hey, buddy. I love you. I need you to be quiet for me, okay? Okay. He's just a child. He doesn't know any better, so. Buddy. I need you to be quiet. Just don't even look at me, alright? It's great having you as my commentator. The real person that owns this account.
Come back. Okay, I come back.
Alright, he's just a child. I'm sorry, y'all,
No,
but I'm not
come
really.
back.
Alright, anyway.
Come back.
Yeah, that's it. And yeah, you're going to deal with that. I don't care. You're going to see me talk to my son. You're going to see this video. I'm not going to delete it. I'm not going to start over again. You know what I mean? Oops. Anyway, depression is a very serious topic for a lot of people, but we all romanticize it in a way. Not us, but Hollywood is starting to romanticize it. People use it as a way to gain clout and things like that. They pretend and all that. While real people suffer, and I think you can really see when someone's actually depressed. It's definitely not somebody who's. I don't want to discount people who are actually depressed or anything, but I feel like people are such a rush to feel connected to other people that they'll do anything to fit in with the norm. And now, because people are, it's easier to get out there and it's easier to be heard. But Zoe was saying that he actually has it running his family. And that I am not at all saying that he's faking. I'm saying that the people that... what I'm saying is that it's very hard to talk about this kind of thing because people don't even take it seriously. It's something. It's just a personality trait to some people. Like, oh, I'm so quirky. I have depression. You know, you've seen it all over the place. People pretend to give a shiz about other people and their problems and everything, and it's and it is aggravating. Failure's okay. And there's a lot of problems that can be solved for some people, and there's a lot that can't. And depression's one of the ones that you can't. It's in fact, I myself have suffered through depression and suicidal thoughts, but as weird as it is, I stopped. And I don't ever say it's because I just chose not to be sad, because I didn't. I just stopped out of nowhere. And I think it's because my environment changed. There was a lot of other things that led in my life. I also did a lot of drugs, a lot, that probably messed up something further. But I wouldn't say that I'm unscathed. I do sometimes think that my depression was... Alright, sorry, my mom came in the room I thought she was going to stay and talk, and I was like, ugh, that's going to make this video harder to make. Every time I try to make a video or try to do something for something, this is my passion and dream. But enough about me. It's not about that. But even now, I have anger issues. I have problems. And that's another thing that didn't go away from my depression. I was always so angry at the world and at myself. I blamed myself for my situation. I blamed my mother for my situation. I blamed the people around me. When really, it wasn't any of our faults, really. Life just is like that sometimes. I was born here. It's not my mom's fault that I specifically was born. It's not my mom's fault that the system is set up in a way that doesn't help us, and that depression is seen as a choice, or as something that can just be put on your Tinder bio as a personality trait, and talked about like it's you know, oh, get to know you kind of thing. And there are some people who are just honestly confident with themselves and talk about depression and have no problem talking about depression. But you've seen those stupid videos, especially on TikTok. There's an audio. It's like, depression, I got that. Friends, don't got that. Things like that, where it's so quirky, you know. And I don't really get mad at that, but it's just kind of ridiculous when the amount of people who use that audio. You know what I mean? Like, I guess it also comes down to my own anger, because I see that myself even getting angry at people who are conventionally attractive doing that video. And I think of it back when I was depressed and sad. I would think that I was the only one with problems, and that even though these people are, you know, pretty, it doesn't mean that they don't have it. It's just that it seems so disingenuous when I see their videos. I don't know, but I don't know. It's I don't like it when people do it for clout, and sometimes it's hard to tell. Buddy, your bottle's in your room. Is in Lala's room.
The bottle's in my room, Avery. Daddy?
No.
Okay, well, you choose Daddy or me?
My son just likes to open my door every 2 seconds. I really just want to make videos, but it's okay. He's my son, and I'm not going to turn him away. If I have to do this video over again because I just genuinely can't, then I will. I will choose my son over everything.
Your bottle's in
My dreams, everything. He's a human being that I am in control of.
Close the check.
Avery, your bottle is not in here. I can assure you of that. Your bottle's not in here. It's in Lala's room. It's in Lala's room, buddy. It's in Lala's room. Go to Lala's room, okay? I love you. I love you too. Bye-bye. Give me a kiss.
Oh.
Give me a kiss, real quick. All right, go with Lala. Go to her room.
Come on. What do you want your bottle for?
All right. That's another thing that I have to learn, is that patience. But just continue on that front. I know this was dedicated to Zoe, but I mean that because he's going through some stuff right now. And again, I'm not going to link him It's Zoe is your homie on TikTok. I'm not going to tell him to come view this. I'm not going to tell him, yo, man. Because I already sent him a message on Insta and on TikTok. Though TikTok doesn't like messages that are too high or too dense, and like you can only do a sentence on TikTok. So I had to send him pictures of the conversation. And he seemed like he really appreciated it. And I'm just a stranger. Like I know that Zoe followed me for whatever, my jokes or whatever, and that we're not friends. It doesn't mean that we are friends, and I will always be just a stranger, no matter how, unless I have conversations with him or anybody on the internet. You'll always be a stranger to people, no matter how many times you talk to them. Once in a while, once in a blue moon, you know what I mean? Like, you're still an acquaintance, and these are human beings, and you can't think of them as anything different. Oop. Oh, that's okay. I really look to this game as a stress reliever, because I get so angry in my normal life when I can't go anywhere or I can't do anything, and it takes back to that depressive state where I was trapped in moments where I couldn't go anywhere, I couldn't do anything, and even in my normal life I didn't have any friends, and I couldn't. He's coming back. I couldn't go anywhere, I couldn't do anything. You gotta say please, buddy. Jesus Christ, his manners. That's something that does irritate me. He's not learning his manners. He's gotta be okay with people saying no. Avery, if she said no, then you have to leave her alone, okay? He just wanted to show her his empty hand. I'm not even able to see it, but that whole, here's your present. He shows you an empty hand. He will not leave you alone until you open the door, go where he is. You could be dying on your deathbed, but he'd have to come up to you and be like, here's your present. It's cute. It really is. He's just such a child. He's only 3, so anyway, like, back to the aggravation thing. When I can't make my videos and I feel like people are encroaching in the space that is mine because I've been alone. I haven't had friends. I still don't have friends in a way that I truly believe. I have acquaintances that think I'm funny at my workplace, and that's it. I have people on my Snap that I talk to every once in a while, but I don't have friends. I don't have people that talk to me. I don't have people that avidly text me. My girlfriend of the time was the only one that actually did. And even now, I have trouble talking to people. I don't want to talk to people for longer than a few minutes, because I view all points of my time as them encroaching in my own personal time. And I avidly look for ways for the conversation to end for a bit. And I have no problem with conversations stopping and starting for years. I'll still consider them, whatever, a friend. I don't care if it's been, 17 years. If you come up and talk to me and say, hey, man, what's up? What's going on? How you been? That's fine with me. I don't care if you talk to me now, talk to me later. That whole, you're a fake friend. You haven't talked to me this amount of time. That's okay. Anyway, I've suffered through a lot of problems, and the only things that remained, my depression went away, my suicidal thoughts went away. I think they were replaced with another type of nihilism where I don't want to die, definitely, but I think it wouldn't matter. Nothing matters, but it wouldn't hurt me if I did. If I do, I do. If I do die, I'll avidly try to avoid it as my genetics tell me to. This is really difficult. Oh my god. Ah! This one part right here always gets me. It's the most annoying part of this whole game. Anyway. Oh, I forgot what I was talking about. Let me see if I remember it. Oh, and there we go back. Anyway, I've suffered through a lot of mental illnesses. I don't really want to say that because I never got a doctor to tell me that I did. But it's kind of like when you see smoke coming out of a car. You don't really need a mechanic to tell you that something's wrong. You know what I mean? You should still seek a mechanic's help so he can tell you, oh no, it's just this that happened. It's just doing this. You know, white smoke means this, black smoke is definitely get away from the car, blah, blah, blah. But, you know, it got to a point where I got scared that I was starting to hear things. Because, you know, I was starting to, every once in a while, hear little noises, and it could be just my own paranoia that got to me. Not just audible noises to me, not like bing, bing, bung. No, I mean like I would hear my name being called. I would hear not a conversation, but I would hear a voice or two, and it terrified me. And I think it was just my overactive imagination, or maybe something else. But I got so scared. And I don't want to say that I had any kind of mental illness where you hear voices or anything like that. I just think that my own fears made me personify that in everything. Like I started paying attention to every sound because I thought I heard things. Oh, this is easy. Getting over it's easy. Just hit the right spot. Oh. Okay, that tactic only works every once in a while. Anyway, it's just more interesting to watch somebody try to climb up a mountain. A good representation of me trying to do this conversation. I don't like sounds. I don't like when people talk. I don't like when people enroach. I say enroach too much. I don't like it when people talk to me. And yet I crave it. I want a controlled conversation where I'm in control of the conversation, where I can stop it and start it as I please. And I spend every waking moment, no matter what the conversation is, making sure that I'm likable enough. I have to end every conversation with a joke or start it with a joke. I have to make them think that I'm funny in any possible way. And that just comes from that desire to be wanted. That came from my depression. And I think that my depression made me think, oh, you're not wanted, nobody likes you, people hate you, blah, 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 no one's ever going to be nice to you, blah, you know, things like that, where I was just honestly oh god, yeah, oops. Born to lose. Anyway, and that's another thing that really irritates me is they say that all the best comedians are depressed, because there goes that stupid romanticizing of depression, where people. Yeah, sure. People who are depressed look for ways to make sure that they can escape it in some other form. And a lot of great artists usually have some kind of problem, but that's because they avidly choose to try and practice it. It's not that great comedians are depressed. It's just that there's a lot of things that go on in people's lives, and there's many ways that we choose to deal with it. And anybody who just really tried to every day to improve their craft can become better. Even comedy. I wasn't good at comedy. I was bad. I had Vine. I had Vine. Even my early TikToks, I don't think were as great, and I've really gotten better, and people have liked more of my stuff, and I've used that as a blueprint for how I should make more. I see this is dedicated to Zoe, yet I'm talking about myself, but I guess it's because I'm reminiscing about my own personal battle with depression. But anyway, that's what I wanted to say. The fact that it went away makes me invalidate my own feelings every single day. I think that it didn't happen, that I didn't really have depression. I was just trying to have another personality trait for someone that felt apathetic and felt like I didn't belong. So I tried my best to, I tried my best to have something else to talk about, some other bullet point to put to my spreadsheet, a resume of friendship that nobody would actually read and nobody would actually care about, something that would be thrown in the trash, things like that. even though it was something serious, I hated living. I hated every moment of it. And maybe I wasn't as depressed as I remember. Maybe I remember things poorly. But, I mean, alone, people were always rude, terrible to me. The amount of rumors that I had spread about me in high school, middle school, things like that, all for being the new kid, all for not having friends, all for not talking to the right people, it made me resent the friends I had. I hated them. I genuinely hated all of my friends because they reminded me of who I was in the social class. I was nobody. I was them. And I hated them. They made me feel so beneath everyone else. And I loved them at the same time. I loved having friends, but genuinely, if I could have changed them for somebody else, someone popular, someone that would have made it easier, I would have. Someone that made me feel, and I think that's why I made a lot of other poor decisions in my life, is because I wanted to fit into that mold that I always wanted. Because I always gave myself the title loser by circumstance, not by choice. You know, that if people got to know me, I would have been one of the cool kids. And I'm glad I wasn't. I'm glad that I genuinely am glad that I was bullied. I hated it. I think it was the stupidest thing ever. But I'm glad that I personally wasn't, because my behavior, who I was, I think at the time, with the amount of stuff that was going on in my own personal life, I say that all the time, my own personal life, my life, I don't have to say personal life, it's my life that is personal, whatever. I would have been an asshole, an unapologetic, uncaring asshole. Even no matter how much empathy I thought I had, I probably would have taken advantage of people, taken more advantage of people, and I wouldn't care so much about how other people feel. Because I genuinely care about what people feel. Even when I mess up, even when I don't seem like it, I'm so, messed up from what has happened to me. And I don't use that as an excuse. I actually hate it. I genuinely don't think it's quirky. I genuinely don't think it makes me absolved of anything I do or have done. It just sickens me to the point of my core, that whenever I act up, because especially now that I've grown as a human being, as an adult, I've gotten smarter, I've gotten stronger in my mind and in my soul, and whatever. And that's the thing about depression, is that I guess it just makes you devalue yourself. It puts you into this box where you can't ever escape it. You are not a human being. You are what other people say you are. You are what you say about yourself, instead of just being, a bag of cells, a program on a computer that happens to break down after a few years with no way of repairing it. I mean, we like to think of human beings as special, as gifts from God himself, but we're not. And I don't mean that in a nihilistic way. I mean that in an honest way, in a more realistic way. We're not gifts. We're not special. We only think we're special because we're human, and it's our race and our species, and it comes to our own presence of survival, our own value of ourselves over other creatures. It comes from the fact that in times of survival, who are you going to save? A baby or a dog? Nowadays, most people would say, I'll save a dog, because they want to be quirky. They want to be, I like dogs more than children. Don't bring your kid next to me or I'll kill it. Stupid stuff like that. People who aren't emotionally mature enough to ever have kids and shouldn't even have dogs, to be honest. But whatever. It's your choice if you don't want kids, but don't be like, I hate kids. I'd kill them if I could. I'll never have kids. If I see a dog burning alive in a fire, just try to save them both, dude. That shouldn't be something quirky. I mean, like, that's something I've heard, or rather read somebody say. Like, I'll save a dog before I save a kid. And I know they're joking and everything, but like, Jesus Christ. How are you going to hate something you don't even have? You know what I mean? Whatever. Perseverance, man. It always happens. So anyway, Zoe was talking about how they don't feel like a human being because these people are invalidating him. They're saying his home address. They're saying his full name, his siblings' names, where he lives. Oh, I don't hate the game or the player. Ice-T. This game is, how people say, I gotta say, that feeling of dread when you fall actually feels really great. It's like this combination of despair and relief, knowing that you can't actually be hurt by it, and it won't affect your life, and you can just keep trying and trying and trying again. Wait. Oh. Yeah, I don't have a goal of actually getting up there. It's just so I can have something to talk about, and it's a little bit more interesting to see than just see me talk to a screen. Anyway, and that's why I don't like talking about my name. I don't like people knowing my name. I don't like people knowing my kid's name or where I live or anything like that, because it is the internet and people are fucking weird. They're just gross human beings, and anybody that says that human life is precious, you are wrong. Human life is not inherently precious. I truly believe that you have to, everybody is guaranteed the right to life. You are guaranteed the right to life, that you shouldn't be killed for any stupid reason, like just for your race or your whatever. But some people deserve to die, truly. They're just bad clones, faulty genes that shouldn't be allowed in because of how aggressive or evil they are in their core. And they'll never change because it's something wrong with their, in my mind, genetics. And it's not due to race or social class. It's due to just them and their parents. Maybe it's... Oh. Hello. Oh well. That happens. Oh, that would have been great. Oh, look, he doesn't get mad at the game. Isn't he unique? He doesn't get mad when the game's playing, and he falls. That's so unique. Anyway, and I'm not gonna go back down on that. That's just a fact. Some people deserve to die, and I don't give a shit about humanitarianism and all that crap about how all humans deserve a second chance. Yes, we all deserve a second chance, but there are just some people that you really look at and you're like, I mean, they just are human bags of garbage because they're just horrible to other people. They take advantage, they steal. I mean, take one look at the post from entitled parents or choosing beggars, or just look at how people are. Like, I'm not saying people who suffer through things, because look, if you have a drug addiction, I'm actually a little bit more lenient to my ideas. I'm like, well, you know what? If they could only change their life, if they could only get away, because drugs change your whole chemical makeup. It's not. There are a lot of people who become great people after they get done with the drugs that have been taking control of themselves, because it's so addictive, like opium and things like that. So I don't believe they should die. But you know who I do think should die? People of sober mind and sober body who, rape, kill, murder, shit like that, who find people's addresses, harass them, just for the fuck of it. People who hurt other people. People who genuinely, because they're just, and this is not even anger, it just comes from a pure, they are not human beings in my mind. They're not good for our genetics. They are what happens when natural selection is not allowed anymore. With the advances of humanity, it's bound to happen. The genes that would not have flown in, people who weren't supportive to the community, people who weren't team players, people who weren't empathetic wouldn't have survived in the villages. They would have been beaten to death and tortured. But now that we had agriculture and things like that, that's when things started to fail a little bit more. I mean, if you look at elephants, they're all sweet and they all care about each other.
Daddy.
Yes, buddy?
Where's my iPad go?
It's right there, buddy.
Oh, yeah, it's right
Take
there.
that.
Oh, yeah, it's right there.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, go tell
Right on,
Mama.
buddy. I mean, think about pedophiles for a second. I would break a man in half if he ever put his hands, a woman in half. I'd kill man or woman. I'd beat them to death if they ever touched my son or any other children. You know what I mean? I just got on that. I know this is supposed to be about depression, but it just leads up to that because people are just being dog shit in those comments, and you can't escape it. But he's literally a teenager. I know he's 18 or whatever, but that's not an adult. I used to think it was, but it's not. It's a title. I don't even think I'm an adult. I'm 22. I'm not at all grown. I don't know anything, and I'm still changing and developing. And I've had dumb mistakes. And you know what? I've even been a little bit of an asshole in my life. I've been a terrible person. I think that's where most of my anger comes from to these people. Because, you know, I got caught up in that culture of trying to fit in, that I became evil in my heart. And that's what really happens, is that a lot of people who are left aside or whatever choose to look at themselves as superior or better. But then they take all their time, wasting all of their time messing with other people simply because they crave validation, they crave attention, they crave other human connection, but they pretend like they're not sheep and that they're stronger and that they don't need it. I've seen it all before. I've been there, done that. You know, I haven't been absolutely terrible like they have. I haven't stalked anybody. I haven't. The closest I ever came to was I Twitter stalked somebody, and that was just because in my mind I was like, well, if I can just know what they like, I can. I think we've all been there. I think we've all been there where we try to find ways to talk to somebody. So we go on their public Twitter and just look at the tweets. Except I never used it for that. I think I stalked it once. Liked a tweet by accident, and then immediately, you know, just deleted everything. I would rather delete. I tried to unlike it because I was thinking, oh, they won't know. It's funny because they deleted their Twitter right after that. I think I creeped them out. And I was like, fuck, they got the wrong idea. I'm not trying to stalk them. I just want to know. Oh, shit. It just sounds like stalking. If you just go to their house and look inside behind their blinds so you can see what they like to wear. Anyway. Anyway, I did drugs. I took pills. Any I found. Weed. Anything. I took pills from people. Done coke. I'm not proud of these things. Sometimes I would lie and say I never did something because people are more willing to give you more if they think that you are just starting out for everything. You know, I do things like that, and it was because I went to numb the pain, and I also have problems with alcoholism. I control it, and I don't ever let it get to me to be drinking more, but sometimes I'll be sitting there wanting to drink heavily, you know. And even now, even though I am A-okay, genuinely. You know, I get sad at times, but there's this perfect wave of apathy that has washed over me. I think that what really happened is I just went crazy the other way. As annoyingly dumb as that sounds, I genuinely believe it because I've had trouble with empathy with a lot of people now. It takes a long time for me to form bonds with people. I still feel bad. I still feel empathy, but in different amounts, in different ways than what, you know, you're supposed to in my mind. Or maybe not. Maybe I'm feeling it the exact way I'm supposed to, and I'm not. I'm just being lazy in caring and not being aware of how I should care. One way or another, I'm getting up there. One way or another, I'm getting up there. Hallelujah! Sooner or later I'll make my way up the mountain, through the trail. I'll find my way, I'll find my way. Up the mountain, up the mountain, up the mountain I go. Boom, boom. Anyway, no, what was left was this huge level of apathy, where it just felt so good when I didn't care. I would get this sense of pure euphoria when something would happen, and it just didn't affect me. You know, even now I've worked through it and I've gotten a lot better, and I feel things more. Oh no, that scared me. But yeah, this is gonna be a long one because I can't even think. Look, even if you are depressed and it doesn't feel real, or nothing feels real, or you feel like you might be doing it for attention, who cares? You know what I mean? Like, if you are doing it for attention, you'll know you're doing it for attention. It doesn't feel terrible. You just say it's bad. It's not like when you're depressed, dude. You can't fake it. Even if you think you are, you really can't. It's this. I mean, depression's different for everybody, and emotions are different for everybody. There we go. So I can't say my experiences are going to be like yours, but in my experience, depression is this horrible, just genuine, I don't want to be alive. Not even I don't want to be alive. That's suicidal. Depression's this, I don't have the energy, nothing feels great, and blah, blah, blah. And it usually comes in pairs of everything else that you have going on. And don't be afraid if you no longer feel depressed as much, but you still feel suicidal. Because sometimes that is proof that you are getting better, or maybe it's also signs you're getting worse. Who knows? But for me, that's what happened for me. I stopped feeling low energy. I stopped feeling sad and horrible. I never took pills, and that's not what made me not be depressed anymore. Again, I don't know what it was. I think I was lucky, truly. Actually, you know what? I stopped feeling depressed. I stopped feeling depressed when I started being liked more by people. When I started being funnier more, and I started growing up more, and things started going a little bit better for me. And as I age and as I get older, I mean, now look at this. Like, all I've wanted was validation my entire life. All I've wanted was to feel appreciated, and now I do. Now I feel, and I wish I was a better person. I still wish I could have waited. It would have waited until I got smarter and better as a human being. But you know what? Whatever. Things happen. I like that music. Oh, there's just something about old music, that grainy sound to the songs, that I wish people still used in music today. Well, they don't. It's not that they used it. It's just how sounds were captured. But God, I love that kind of music. It's just like when I played Fallout, I loved the. Oh man, one way or another. Well, I guess I'll end the video. This is just a thing to talk about. Get Over It will always be my stress reliever, my way to talk to people now. But whenever I play this game, I don't feel angry. It started out as a joke when I first got it. I was gonna make YouTube videos, and I thought I'd get famous for doing the videos and not being angry. That was my whole thought process when I first got it. And then I started playing it. And I just didn't feel anything when I played it. It felt good to not be angry about failure, about messing up, about a game that's literally designed to make you mess up. The whole point of it is to mess you up. It's just so therapeutic that success in this game is heavily based on just beating the whole game mechanic of loss. Oh, whoops. Ah, dang it. And it's not unique to not be mad at this game. There's a lot of people that stream this and don't get mad. But anyway, whatever. I know I said this was dedicated to Zoe's Homie, but I'll just say that it was inspired by listening to that guy talk on a stream, and just in general. He's taking a break. I'm not going to tag him. I'm not going to ask him to come look at this. If you know him, you know him. If you don't, you don't. I don't want clout for any of this. I just feel disingenuous if I ask him, hey, go check this out. I made this video for you. You know what I mean? If he sees it, he sees it. If he doesn't, he doesn't. It does not matter to me. I am going to write the name of the title, just in case Zoe ever does follow me on YouTube. I'm trying to get all the TikTokers to follow me on other formats instead just TikTok. Just because it helps with my own validation. Because I've always wanted that for Vine. I always wanted that for Tumblr, for Twitter, for everything. I wanted the fame. Though Twitter is different. You can be really famous on Twitter, and it doesn't matter because everybody's on Twitter. But on like TikTok and Vine and other places like that, when you were known by everybody. Anyway, that sucks. Well, whatever. I can hop. That's cute. I'll make a more detailed version of this another time. I'll be better at it another time. I hope. I actually don't care if you didn't like the fact that my kid was, yelling at the time. That's my kid. I hope I handled him a little bit better. I don't want to ever make it seem like I am annoyed with him when he's talking like that. When I get stern with him, it's just because he's really excitable. He's easily excited, and if you don't stop it, he will get to a point where he has to yell and yell and yell. At least with me. I don't know if he's like that with his mom, but he definitely is like that with me. And he'll grab your face. He'll be very rude about it. He's just a kid. A kid can't really be rude when they're like a toddler, but you know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to get him away from behavior like that because I don't want him going into preschools or school itself doing that to kids where if he doesn't get somebody's attention, he starts yelling at them or throwing a tantrum or hurting them. I don't want my kid hurting other kids more than anything, so I try to stop him. He's in this mood of fake crying a lot. I know his real cries. It's this deep real family thing, parental thing. I know his cries. When they're real, they're real. When it's just, his whole face changes. His whole body is different. When it's just fake crying, it's this dry crocodile tear, Ugh. It reminds me of me when I was a kid. I cried for real. I cried all the time. But sometimes, I would just cry because I was upset and I didn't get my way. I was a really emotional kid. That's another thing. I was an emotional kid. I've never been, a manly man. The stereotypical way of what a man should be or whatever. And I always got called gay for that. I always got called this and that and this and that. And there's no right way to be a fucking man. In fact, trying your best to be a man by a man's standards is just weak. And that's not me saying that's how you be a man. I'm saying that's just weak in general. It's just a weak personality trait to need a bunch of dudes' approval to be one of the guys. Yeah, I'm not blah 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 blah. You can see a lot of guys do that for guy approval. Everything is about guy approval. Make sure that you get guy approval. It's homoeroticism. It's a lot of gay people. I'm not even being mean, but it's men who have gay sexual feelings for other men who are too afraid of it because of the homophobia that is in our society. Truly, like I'm sitting here like, should I say that? No, I should. It is there is a definite connection to homoeroticism and this whole man's man thing. This whole I gotta please a man by being a man. It's okay to want to hang out with guys that are like you, but to think that every guy's got to be like you, it's just not.
In this context, it's tempting to make friendly content that's gentle, that lets you churn through it but not earn it. Why make something demanding if it just gets piled up in the landfill, filed in with the bland bit?
Oh yeah, because of the boxes. Well, okay, I'll stop it right here. But no, it's definitely homoeroticism. Not to say it's bad being gay. It's the fact that they think it's bad being gay, and yet they desire a man's approval more than anything in their life. And I think it's because a lot of men have had terrible fathers. And it's always been this constant turn of terrible fathers that make men want to seek that approval in men so badly because they want it in what their fathers had. Oh, whoops. Oh, I got it. Don't worry. But bam! You think I was gonna fail again and fall? Not I! As I be very careful because I don't want to fall and be made a laughing stock on my own video. Yes, sir. Oh, yes. Anyway, and I too got pulled into that. This is coming from a guy himself who has had these exact thoughts. Not directly, like where I know I'm aware of what I'm doing, but I knew it. I'm like, oh, wow, I just really want a dad. I just want a dad that cares about me. And then other guys are pulled into it because they want to have that community. And because we're animals, and people don't accept that we're animals. They don't accept that we are forced to want to fit in with the pack or die. It's always pack. And it's because we're evolving slowly. Now that there's so many of us, that pack mentality is becoming less of a forced survival tactic, and individuality can sooner or later come out. But there are a lot. That whole NPC meme, I know it's rooted in people who just don't happen to agree with other people. Like conservatives or people on the right will use it for liberals, and liberals will also sometimes use it for them. But that whole meme started because some guy was like, other people have different opinions than me. They must not have souls. They must not be blah, 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 or whatever. Because that came from his own desire to be seen as something more unique. To be seen as something that wasn't just another fake, another cog in an ever-changing and ever-breaking machine that just keeps going towards entropy. But they are. You're nothing. Nothing matters. And it's okay. And that's the biggest lesson I can teach you, that if you want to listen. It's okay to be nothing. We are nothing. You are nothing. I am nothing. It is not a bad thing to not have a purpose. Life has no purpose. There is no goal of life. There is no meaning of happiness or anything like that. We are animals. We are born here. That is it. You are conscious because you yourself could not exist or be alive unless you existed. I mean that. Your perception is because you are able to perceive it. That is it. You were alive because you always had to be alive in order for you to be able to perceive it. Otherwise, you wouldn't. There is no soul that transfers from person to person. I am me, and I can only ever be me, and I can only ever process something if I'm able to remember it or blah, 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 blah. I happen to be here. This is who I am. Oh well. That's life. Sucks, but it doesn't really. Life is okay like that, and you have to be okay with that. Well, you don't have to, but we always try to validate our existence, and I think it's so annoying that people want to be smart, they want to be strong, they want to be this, they want to be that, and they can't accept being mediocre. They just can't accept being less. Because we value ourselves based on how others perceive us, because it's, again, that pack mentality. However, it really doesn't matter. People are shitty because people are shitty. Treat others perfectly and be a better human being, and that's all you have to do. Seek happiness everywhere you can, and that's it. Life's gonna suck, and you can't control it, and you can't control how your brain is chemically balanced all the time. Depression isn't in your head. It isn't something that's magical and that just goes away like mine did. You know, I think I was either a rare case or I never truly had it. Not in any real sense. Or maybe it was something like seasonal depression where it comes and goes. I don't know. Has anybody else had that? Has anybody else had a moment? I mean, because it was so real to me. I truly wanted to die, and yet I can't for the life of me, remember what that felt like. I can't remember the feeling. I remember what it was like, but I can't remember the feeling of it. Physically, I can't remember. And it makes me feel so lost. Like I lost something of me that was important to me. But I didn't. I grew up and I changed. And I lost something that was necessary for me to lose. And I'm glad it's gone. And I never want it back. And I never want to be sad. And I never want to be depressed. And I never want to. I am overjoyed. And I am thankful 1,000 million times over that I no longer feel that kind of way. And they always say to me, because I'm so happy, that depression's going to be there. And sometimes I say I am. Sometimes I'll say I am. You know what I mean? Like, because I feel like that at times. But I feel like I really am growing up. I really am distancing myself from that. And I think that I'm just so used to saying I was when I was a kid, when I was a teenager, because I truly was, that when I feel any moment of sadness or pain, I just associated it. And I won't do that any longer. I'm not going to do that any longer. I'm not going to be held by that because I don't need to be, because I have gotten better.
Can I see another's woe and not be in sorrow too? Can I see another's grief and not
Things happen.
find relief?
And you will never, ever, 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 ever be okay with how things are. And you don't have to be. Things change. And you got to be okay with that change. And you got to be okay with not being happy. And you got to be okay with not being 100%. Because you have no control over it. Nothing. You have control over nothing. Absolutely nothing. And you know what? This is going to be the lamest thing I'm about to do. But fudge it. You have no control.
In the end, we only regret the chances we didn't take. Lewis Carroll.
Everything sucks. And it's okay to suck. It's okay to be here again and again and again and have to climb and climb and climb and never get anywhere. You never will sometimes. I think if we all tried our best to make life better for the individual, for the poor man, for things like that, crime would decrease, things would change, and people would be able to live happier lives. But I think it's because we have such bad genes in our genetics right now, such terrible non-community, non-human, loyal to humans, racists, supremacists, things like that. People who value their race over them, they value themselves because it's a human thing. Every racist is just obsessed with himself and wants himself to be seen as superior. So he'll look for a scapegoat and things that make him feel superior in his own life. And that comes with intellectual supremacists, that comes with anybody that thinks that their gender is superior, anybody that thinks that they're superior for doing this or this. It's always reflective of their own insecurities. It's a Napoleon complex of having to be a bigger man, even though Napoleon was tall. Well, average height, I think, or whatever. He wasn't short like everybody. That was just successful propaganda. Oops. Things happen. The most successful propaganda, by the way, because nobody ever thinks of Napoleon as big. Nobody. They just call him little man, and everybody's like, yep, he's tiny. Can you imagine if Europe just said, fuck it, you have a tiny dick? Everybody was like, yep, that sounds about right. And that became what you were known for. Hey, Tiny Dick Steve. No, you know my dick's like 8 inches. Yeah, whatever, Tiny Dick Steve. I'll believe it when I see it. You've seen it? I don't know. I don't know about that. Yeah, it can easily be faked. People can doctor historical records. Can you doctor your eyes? Anyway. Y'all have a wonderful night. This was supposed to be dedicated to Zoe, but I guess I'll just say it's inspired by Zoe. and what they're going through. It's inspired by a lot of things, because that's the thing. It's a dumb thing. Oh, I'm inspired by one person's. I shouldn't take its inspiration by somebody else's feelings, because that's so wrong of me. But because it's their feelings, and I'm kind of taking from them. But whatever. I'll say that I was influenced, not inspired, but influenced by it. And it's and that's, you can be influenced by tiny things, by big things, by other people's emotions and feelings, and you can be influenced by the world around you. And it's okay to make an entire video simply because you left somebody's Twitch stream because of dumb stuff. Anyway, I may not be coherent, and I may not be the best speaker, and I may not have the best ideas, but I am happy with who I am. I am happy with where I'm going, and I am happy about my accomplishments. And some people aren't, and it's okay. It's okay to not be happy. It's okay not to have things that you're proud of, and it's okay to have things you're proud of and not be able to see it. Things will happen, and things will change. And you gotta just be able to accept it. Not be happy because whatever. No, just accept it. You don't have to be happy. You don't have to be great. You don't have to be anything. Only thing you have to do is accept it. Put it in the back of your mind and say, well, this is just it. This is what it is. Recognize it. It's not the world punishing you. It's not the universe taking advantage of you. It's just another thing that happened. Coincidence. It just happened. And that's it. And maybe there is some divine way. And if there is, then I hope to God that, even though I'm not a religious man, that any of the fame that he's given me, if he exists or not, I'm not going to get into that. If there is some divine intervention in this, then I really hope that it's something I can actually do with, because there's a lot of stuff that I wish to do. Anyway, blah, blah, blah. Again, me. But that's another thing about depression. It makes you think about yourself a lot more than you should. You can't control that, dude. Anyway. Whatever. I don't know how to end this video. Boop. 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 I can't get back up there. I want to get back to the tree. Whatever. Y'all have a wonderful